Hello there, this is Stephen L. Sears, writer-producer for Xena Warrior Princess, here for the Babbling Bards. Anything you want to know about Xena, any discussion about Xena, anything Xena, you're at the right place with the Babbling Bards.
What's up, Xenites? Welcome back to the Babbling Bards podcast.
A podcast made by Xenites.
For Xenites, that's you. We're your happy host.
Huh? That's me who?
No, that's them.
What? Oh.
We're your happy host. That's Liliana over there.
That's Trista right there.
And, we're so excited to see you people. Well,
I don't think they remember us.
We're not seeing them, huh? They may not.
It's been so long.
I know Robin Godfrey will remember us because I live by her fuck yes look on life. So maybe she'll remember. I don't know. It's been a while.
A little bit.
Adult drama. Stupid. Boy child had a 2-pound tumor cut out. It was not malignant. It was benign.
Yep.
Very grateful it turned out that way.
Yep.
The landlords at the former house gave us a 60-day notice.
They did.
Said, hey, we're selling the house.
Very rude of them to do that.
They said, we selling the house. It ain't no lie. You guys, bye. So, bye. We went. Bought a house. So, you don't realize how much shit you got.
Till you start packing it all up.
Yeah.
It was a cruel
summer. As, we merged, when I moved from Georgia, I merged pretty much a household. I'm grateful that I left the things I did leave in Georgia. Because we moved, essentially, Liliana and the kids. So 3 kids and then a grown person. And then added another grown person to it. So we essentially merged 2 households. When we go to move everything, it's like, oh my god, we got a lot of shit. Garage sale. So that's what we did.
We did.
And then we moved. And we got everything accomplished semi-okay thanks to our friend Ari. Because we couldn't have gotten half the shit done if she hadn't helped. We should have called, like, the Xenite army. Hey, who wants to come out to where in the hell, California?
Right?
And help us move. You know, we could have gotten a bunch of crap done that way. Just here, take whatever you want. Just not the Xena stuff. Because Liliana will hit you. But anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy summer.
It was a bad summer.
It's like one thing right after the other. It was not very fun.
And then summer ended and the kids started school, and because Trista takes a chemo pill on a daily basis, my immune system is shit. So, kids start school.
Kids get sick.
Kids get sick.
I get sick.
Trista gets dead.
Trista
dies. Like, when I say I'm sick,
she is sick.
I'm down for like 2 weeks at a time. It's ridiculous. I sprang back pretty quick this last time, though.
You did.
But I rested, because usually I keep going until I can't go.
So it made you rest. Uh-huh.
Every time you turn around, it's Liliana. You need to drink something, you need to eat something, don't get dehydrated, don't get malnourished, don't get this stuff. I'm like, I am fine, just leave me alone and let me sleep. And I'm not a sleeper, so that's...
Oh, but you slept.
I did sleep.
You did.
I lost an entire day. Like, I don't know where it went. All this time we could have been recording you guys' podcast, but I sounded like Johnny Cash. Woke up one morning and all... Hello, darling. To Liliana, except it was much deeper.
It was
much more masculine. Yeah. It was rough.
Oh.
And so there's still a little bit of coughing, a little bit of sneezing, a lot of snot. You don't know how much snot the human head holds until you get a cold, and then it's like, where the fuck does all of it go?
Ew.
It's disgusting. It's like, where does it even originate from in the first place?
I don't know.
It's sickening. I think my brain leaks. That's what I think. I think that's the problem. My brain has a leak. Anyway, we are on the episode The Furies, which is a carryover episode from
Season 2.
Season 2, and it wraps up the arc between Xena and her father that is established in The Reckoning. She finds out in this episode what happens to Daddy. Cyrene happened to Daddy.
She did.
Go Cyrene! Love that woman.
She should be at the next retreat.
Oh, yeah. Can we file a request for that, Penny? If
Penny.
Penny, or Kat, either one. If you guys are listening,
Anybody on Team Awesome? I mean,
Ash, Rosa,
we request Cyrene.
Darian, Tackle.
Yes.
Make it so number ones. I mean, they got Lao Ma there.
They
Jacqueline
did.
Kim for the first one.
First one, yeah.
But yeah, can we request that? We'll see what can happen with that.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Alright. Anyways.
Tag Penny when this goes up and say, "Hey, we got a request for you. Listen to the podcast."
Yes.
Anyway, back to the Furies. You're getting off topic, honey.
I know.
So there is one Fury that's name is consistently credited,
Electo.
which is the blonde one.
Yes.
She's the only one with a speaking part as herself. True story.
Okay.
The other two of the Furies are named Megara and Tisiphone. The only time the other two have speaking parts is when they are posing as somebody else. Like, Megara has a speaking part when she is Livia in the episode Coming Home. And Tisiphone does when she is Gabrielle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. You want to give them a history lesson? Do you want to tell them whose babies the Furies are?
I do not remember.
Their daddy is Uranus, and their mommy is Nyx.
Nyx. There you go.
Very
There you
good.
go.
So that means that their sisters are...
Fates.
Yes. Name the Fates. Atropos. Lycosus. Lycosus. Second of the Fates.
Lycosus.
And-
Atropos, Lycosus, and
Lycosus, not Lycosuses.
I didn't say Lycosus.
Lycosus. Do it.
No.
And the last one?
The
The tiny one.
I can't remember. What's it start with?
A C?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
I can tell you another word that starts with C, but that's usually how I define Najara.
No, it's not that. Oh my goodness.
You got this. Think about the weaving. Generally speaking, what do you weave?
Clotho.
Very good. You
I
got it. And who else? Who else are the Fury sisters? You got this. Megan Desmond's character. Big Priscilla Presley hair.
I know who it is.
Sturgina.
Oh
the
my
other one.
God. I can't remember.
Discord.
Discord.
There you go. And
Oh, my memory.
arch enemy.
Nemesis.
Very good. I see she got it. I knew she would.
I know this stuff, but it's hard for me to remember things sometimes.
Liliana has short-term memory loss. So,
Yes.
look, if you introduce yourself to her,
I won't remember it.
she won't remember, but she will be super excited to meet you the next time.
You're like, I know you. I can't remember who you are, but I know you.
I'm just glad you remember me. We're about to have a Coco moment up in here.
Huh?
We're about to have remember me.
Oh.
Okay.
I
So,
like that movie.
I know you do. You're such a kid at heart. There's Shining references in that movie, so you know I'm cool with it.
Uh-huh.
So, we have a little history lesson about the Furies for you. Well, I do anyway.
Take it away.
Take it away. So the Furies are actually older than all the other Olympian gods. They're all primordial gods, what's called primordials. Because they're Uranus's daughters. So they're primordial. It's odd to me that they take orders from the Olympian gods, but they do. In fact, they were batshit crazy, just like the Bacchae and the Maenads from mythology. They were the ones that acted like, well, in mythology they acted like wild animals.
Okay.
In the forest. Almost like the banshees, except a little crazier. Because different folklore, different regions. But anyway, they were mean. And then Athena came along in all her great wisdom and said, hey, you would fit into the order of things a little bit better if you were good. And then you could balance everything else out. That's how they, did retribution. One of them stood for hatred, one of them stood for anger, and another one stood for murder. I can't remember which ones associate. I think it was Alecto that stood for hatred, Megara that stood for anger, and then Tisiphone for murder. But don't hold me to that. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't heard those stories since I've been like 6. And growing up in a Roman family, you hear all of that stuff, including the fact that the Furies were the people's way of knowing that even though Catholicism and Christianity had not been defined as religions yet, at that point, heaven and hell still existed, which falls out of context with Catholic and Christian beliefs, because both teach that heaven didn't exist for people to go to until after Jesus was crucified on the cross. And then, same way with hell. There was no reason for anybody to go to hell. Everybody went to Abraham's bosom to await judgment. Because, it's like, you can't rightfully send people to hell if you have no way of them to be saved from going to hell. Because, let's be honest, nobody can uphold the law that's dictated in the Bible. They just can't. I mean, parents provoke not your children to wrath. What's that? I'm gonna piss the fuck out of the kids. They're little. And it's the same thing. Listen to your mom and dad. Do you know where I'd be if I did that? We won't go there. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, not knocking any religion, but anyway, the Furies had different names. If they were in heaven, they were the Dire. If they were in hell, they were the... I can't say that word. Euryphonides, maybe? I can't remember how to pronounce that word. And then they were the Furies, or Furies, on Earth. So anyway, history lesson. They did time in heaven and they did time in hell. Which explains some of their hairdos. Right. I mean, we got Alecto looking at us on the screen right now. We're going to be playing the episode behind us as we're talking to you guys because...
Actually, in front of us.
Well, in front of us, behind us, whatever. It's going to be our background noise.
Actually, it's more to the side.
Oh, shut up! We watched this episode at the end of May when we were doing really well on keeping up with recordings.
Yeah.
Before everything went stupid.
Everything went...
So, we're going off of essentially... I'm going off of PhotoMem because I can't find half of my notes.
I have no PhotoMem.
And Liliana's just going off of her Xena intelligence. So here we go. We've got them doing their little sultry dance in front of Ares, who has some it's so funny to me that he's a Greek god and he has Celtic knots all behind him. Because there's triquetras all behind Ares' throne while they're doing this dance. You can see them in the background. And he doesn't look mildly entertained, really.
No, he does not.
He has a little bit of a horn dog moment. And then just poof, nothing. And he's like, dude, do your job. It's pretty much what he tells Alecto. So she turns around to the other ones and she's like, he wants us to pass judgment on Xena. And he wants Xena punished for not avenging her father's death. Mm-hmm.
With madness and...
Persecution.
There we go. I was going to say insanity, but that's...
What's the difference?
That's not... I know.
No, what's the difference?
What?
What's the difference in madness and persecution?
Well, madness, gets driven crazy. And then the persecution.
So what you're saying is madness takes its toll. No time warp? Time warp, Rocky Horror reference. You should have gotten that. I'm so disappointed right now. She saw it one time and fell asleep. Fell asleep. So, essentially, persecution, there's a bounty on Xena's head wherever she goes.
Yep.
Everybody looking for her. And right off the bat, we have a little bit of subtext when we see the first scene of Xena and Gabrielle. You know what that is? When they're making the bet? Oh, I'll race you. If I get there first, you have to collect firewood for a week.
Right.
There were a couple of people that went all doe-eyed when Xena said, "Oh, and if I win, you gotta make those
little thingies. What was
the
it?
dumplings?
The dumplings,
with
yes.
the red things in the middle."
Yes, that.
And then she, leans really close to Gabrielle and she gives her a little squeeze. "Oh, please." And then everybody was like, "Oh my god, they're so cute." So, first little bit of subtext in this episode is there. In the meantime, all this is going on, and Electo is working her mojo. To drive Xena cuckoo. Gonna party till they take her away.
Yes.
Adam Lambert, you should have got that. Yes?
Yes.
So, in the meantime, on the other side of the world, there's a fight that busts out. We've got a Three Stooges reference in a Xena episode for the first time. And Gabrielle notices, just studying the way that Xena's fighting, that
something's up.
Yep.
You know, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The thugs.
Ruffians.
Ruffians.
That's actually how they're credited in the episode, is ruffians.
Ruffians that are after Xena for the bounty.
Mm-hmm. But she does she knocks the sword out of his hand. And she's like, "Wait, didn't mean to do that." So she hands him the sword back.
Hands it back.
And she knocks it in the air, lands on the head. And then there are several pop culture references in this episode. The Three Stooges, we already mentioned. And then Armageddon Now. When Xena sniffs her armpit, and she says, "I love the smell of warrior sweat in the morning."
Yeah.
Instead of, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." That's from Armageddon Now.
Okay.
So Gabrielle's noticed that Xena's not acting right because she's all chill, twirling her chakram, eating is it an apple? She's eating what she eating?
Yeah. I believe it's apple. Yeah.
And then she starts juggling. Now, did Lucy Lawless really juggle that? Because I know that, in Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar did her own juggling.
I don't know.
Because if she did, hats off to her, because that I can't juggle to save my life. The only thing I can juggle is 2 Code Red cans at the same time. One going in the mouth that way, one in the mouth when you turn your head the other way. That's about it.
That's not juggling.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It's juggling, too. That should go on a t-shirt. Anyway, so Gabrielle calls her out, and she's like, "Dude, you're acting weird."
And then she starts calling Gabrielle Mavis.
Mavis was an ad-lib by Lucy Lawless. She thought it would be funny. There wasn't really a reason that she... It's funny, though, if you watch the behind-the-scenes of... that Sharon Delaney recorded of Hoosger Khan.
Yeah.
Lucy Lawless is driving her daughter Daisy and Renee O'Connor off the set to home after they're done filming. And she calls her Madge.
Madge?
Yeah, she calls her name Madge. She's like, "Come on, Madge." It's like, dude, did she just come up with this stuff on the fly? But I half wonder if it's something that she said in a joking manner to Renee on the set, and it stuck, and they were like, "Oh, we'll use that while you're crazy."
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was totally ad-libbed in the show.
There you go.
And then, poor Argo, Xena flips onto her. Backwards. And she likes it, because she can see where she's been.
Right.
Gotta give you guys the words of advice. Okay? The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. Don't fucking look back. Xena looked back where she was.
Okay.
I was reading a little article on this episode on one of the subtext forums, and it had absolutely nothing to do with the subtext, which is what I thought was funny. Yeah, I guess it would be a post, not an article. But it's talking about how this scene, even though Xena's crazy at this point, because we see it with the episode Forgiven later on in this season, where she won't allow herself to be forgiven for stuff that she's done. They're like, even when she's crazy, they believe that that scene was used symbolically to show her facing back and looking back at the things she did instead of moving forward. So I was like, whoa, that's kind of deep.
Right?
And then I read that and I'm like, oh my God, Rob Tappert's a genius. You know? Then they have the pinch discussion.
They put the pinch on one of the thugs. What was the name?
Ruffinus.
Ruffinus.
And Xena has a very important question for him.
Yes.
So tell me, how old were you when you lost your virginity? And Gabrielle's like, Xena?
Shut up, Mavis. This is important.
He says he was 14, and Xena's like, come on. Like, okay, 19. And then she tells Gabrielle.
Yeah.
And all she's got to do is ask nicely.
So then Gabrielle, because she's not crazy, finds out why the bounty's been placed on Xena's head.
Not the why, the who.
Or who, yeah.
Who put the bounty on
That's
her
right,
head.
who.
And it's the priest at the Temple of the Furies.
Right.
And then we've got another pop culture reference in Xena Warrior Princess.
What's that?
Next question Xena asks Ruffinus is, what's the capital of Assyria? Which is the exact question that the Bridge Keeper asks in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So Crazy Xena quotes like 80s and 90s movies like crazy. And it's just bomb. So she takes the pinch off of him. And then this is like, to me, this has always been one of the funniest. It's always been one of the funniest parts in the episode. To me, when Gabrielle asks Xena, she's like, where are you going? And he's like, I'm going to get something to eat. I'm starved. And Gabrielle said,
what about the
and
Furies?
Xena says, they can get their own. It's like, fuck them. But Gabrielle tells her, she's like, I don't think you're thinking clearly. And Xena tells her, well, you know how I get when I don't eat. Or when I miss breakfast.
Yeah, I believe so.
So then Gabrielle goes all bard-like and tells her, well,
they're punishing you for something.
yeah, which would explain the bounty and the madness. Bard logic. They're smart people. Listen to them.
Yes.
And Xena's like, madness. And then Gabrielle's trying to convince her, find out what's going on. And Xena's just like, hard pass, hard pass. And then we got another little bit of subtext. Because Xena already got pouty on Gabrielle. And went all, oh, please. And Gabrielle asks her, will you do it for me?
Okay.
Go, horsey!
Horsey.
So, then... Is it the daisy scene? Is that what's next? Where she's putting the daisies in her hair?
Oh, in her hair.
She looks so pretty.
Yes. I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabrielle tells her we got a serious problem, and Xena thinks she's talking about the daisies.
Yeah.
And then Gabrielle tells her, it's not what you look like, it's what's going on in your head. And Xena tells her,
you don't want to go there.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
And then is when Xena learns that she is legit in trouble. Because Gabrielle wakes up.
She's not there.
No. But you got your little bit of subtext because she reaches for Xena. She wakes up looking for her. And then she finds her. And Xena is naked in front of a village. And Gabrielle, is calling to her, and she says, oh, I'm here to
deliver the wrath of justice
Yeah.
on the villagers.
Yep. that they must burn. And Gabrielle's like, well, what have they done? She's like, they crucified the women and children. But the only people that were there
were women and children.
What do you think about that scene? Like, do you remember... Well, I know, do you remember is a crazy question. But, like, when the episode first aired, like, did they show the scene on television? Because when it aired, this would have been considered really risque for American TV.
I don't remember. I have my old VHSs that I recorded the shows when they came on. So, I'm kind of curious now. Maybe we should rewatch that.
Because I know there were some episodes when they aired because of the nature of some of the scenes.
Yeah.
Certain scenes were cut or it was zoomed way in.
Uh-huh.
Just so people can... Because you can clearly see... If you go back and you watch it on DVD or you watch it on Hulu or whatever...
Yeah.
You can see Lucy Lawless's silhouette.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can see her butt.
Yeah.
So it's... I wonder if they... I don't know.
I don't remember. So...
Because I was kind of curious as to what your initial reaction was when you saw that side.
Remember.
You don't remember?
No.
I thought, when I watched it the first time,
Uh-huh.
like with you and Kayla, which Kayla, our daughter, she spoiled every episode for me. Every episode, till I started throwing Sharpies at her head. And then it was, ow! But, she, when I watched it the first time, honestly, I thought that she had reverted back to, at the time, I didn't know everything that happened subsequently. But I thought she'd reverted back to Xena that I'd already seen with Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Destroyer of Nations Xena. I was like, oh, they've turned her back into the bad guy.
Uh-huh.
Was my initial thought. They didn't.
No,
you know,
they didn't.
But that was what I thought. So I just wondered if you remembered what you thought.
No, I don't remember. That's so long. So long ago since I first seen it. I no.
Well, I mean, it aired in, what, 93? No, not that.
No, 97, I think.
97?
Yeah, September 29th, 1997, yeah.
Okay. Where did I get 93? Like, it didn't even come out before by then.
No, I don't know.
But that's when Xena starts realizing that something's wrong. She's in trouble. Xena's in trouble. Must be Monday. It should be Dawn's in trouble. Must be Tuesday. For those of you guys that are Buffy fans. So,
Gabrielle covers her up
and takes care of her.
And yeah, tells her they need to get to the temple of the Furies. Find out what the friendly heck is going on.
I think it's kind of sweet that Xena turns around and apologizes to the kid.
Yeah.
For scaring the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, even when she was... Aside from walling up Ming Tian, which, I mean, let's face it, the little fucker deserved it.
Yes.
With the exception of walling up Ming Tian, even Xena, when she was bad, always had a soft spot for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a nice little nod to, hey, I'm sorry. You know. Anyway, what? They get to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk to Lysis. Lysis? The priest. Yeah.
The priest, yeah.
And
well, Gabrielle asks him, what's going on with my friend? Yeah.
Well, she couldn't tell the priest that they were significant others.
Of course not.
I mean, television wasn't ready for that. There was no Willow and Tara on TV yet.
No. But then he goes on to tell them that the Furies have punished her with both persecution. These S's are getting to me. With persecution and madness. There's been too many S's today.
Mm-hmm. And so Gabrielle's like trying to figure out what she's got to do, what Xena has to do to fix it, and he's like, "Oh, she's got to avenge the murder of a family member."
Family member, and then she just
Xena goes off.
She gets pissed right there
because she thinks he's talking about baby brother,
right? Lysias. Yeah.
And she's like, anybody that said I didn't avenge my brother is a liar.
Yep.
And
And the priest is all, not your brother.
he tells her father.
Yeah.
And Xena looks like, the fuck?
What?
So that's when the priest tells her, yeah, your father was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know who. Gabrielle's trying to get Xena to calm down because at that point Xena is either on the verge of complete mental break or just anger. Like straight up anger.
Mm-hmm.
And so Xena pushes past Gabrielle and takes off trucking. And then we've got like the Lewis Carroll scene where she's like LSD tripping.
Uh-huh.
And she sees Bacchus's face
Yeah.
in one of the trees, which is a callback to Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which is the only other episode in the show that you've got the crazy, trippy camera work done at the beginning. And there's a scene where she sees Callisto and she goes to swing at Callisto, who ducks, and then she like comes to her right mind and it's Gabrielle.
Right.
There's no Callisto. So Gabrielle's trying to talk her down, and Xena's just off her rocker at this point. Because she's like, we're insects to the gods, they're gonna kill us for the hell of it. And then she just starts going off trying to reason with her. And she's getting more and more... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? She keeps trying to reason with her, and Xena's just off her nut.
Frustrated.
She keeps telling her, I can help. Listen, we need to find out who killed your dad.
And then she ties her up to a tree. Xena tied up Gabrielle up to a tree. She didn't do a very good job at tying.
Well, she didn't tie her. She just, looped the vines around her arms,
Yeah.
and that was it. But she tells her, though, she's like, look, you can't come with me, I can't be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
And then she takes off.
Yep.
Just another manic Monday.
So, yeah.
And then it comes... I mean, I don't care who you are. The scene where she's fighting with her hands is freaking hilarious. It just is. And then when the gaggle of guys are all gathered around, they say, "Oh, look, a babbling idiot."
Yeah.
And then she does the nutty fight where she spins like a top.
Uh-huh.
And as she's spinning like a top, we've got an oopsie. When she kicks back on her heels and just starts twirling, the guys all start falling before she even comes anywhere near them.
Before they get hit. Yeah.
Like, not today! And then we got another pop culture
And
reference.
she does the cackle thing. The not the cackle.
Crow.
Crow. The crow like a rooster.
Yes. It's
Peter.
a Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
So we got a pop culture reference to Peter Pan. After she beats the crap out of him in the fight, but you get so excited. And then
she arrives in Amphibious.
now, do we hear Glade McGlade in this episode? We do, don't we?
I don't remember.
I feel like we do because that's how they signal Amphipolis every time you go there.
But she gets there and everybody's looking at her. Well, like she's crazy.
She looks so strange.
Yeah. And then we has Mummy Dearest.
Cyrene.
Cyrene. So.
And Xena has a total mommy moment. Like, mommy breakdown moment. And Cyrene's all carrying mommy. I heart Cyrene so much.
I think. Me too.
And she took care of her, and then Gabrielle finally makes it to Cyrene's, and Cyrene knows what happened before Gabrielle says anything.
Right. She tells her that she's being driven mad by the Furies. And then she tells her about what the Furies did to Orestes.
We've got another oopsie here, but it's more of a historical oopsie, not necessarily a television oopsie. So we've already dealt with the Battle of Troy, right? Beware Greeks bearing gifts.
Yeah.
So Orestes is the son of King Agamemnon and Queen Clytemnestra. He's the one that had the daughter named Electra, which is where we get the phrase Electra complex from, because Electra grew up jealous of the time that her mother spent with her father. So she convinced Orestes, her father, to kill her mother, and Orestes was driven to madness by the Furies and had to go to Apollo for healing. So Orestes is a real figurehead, but the timing, he would only be about 3 years old in this episode. So a little bit of a history hiccup. But I think it's cool that they weaved that element in there and that Cyrene knew who Orestes was. So Gabrielle is still trying to figure out, well, why, and ask if she knows what happened to Xena's father. Because I think Gabrielle was hoping that maybe the priest was bullshitting them. That, like, Xena's dad wasn't dead. That way, Xena wouldn't have to avenge and kill anybody.
Right. That Cyrene tells her that he was murdered. Well, Gabrielle wants to know who did it.
Well, she asked Cyrene if she knows who did it.
Yeah.
And Cyrene tells her, yeah.
Yep. Mummy did it.
Well, she asked Gabrielle, she's like, do you think, even in this state, Xena could kill her mother? And Gabrielle's like, huh?
Say that again?
And then Cyrene tells her, it was me.
Yeah.
And then Cyrene's telling the why, the story behind it. She didn't kill him in cold blood.
Right.
She killed him because he was going to sacrifice Xena when she was 7 years old.
She was protecting her.
To Ares. So,
Yeah.
Like, took an axe and...
She stopped him.
Yes, she did.
Axe.
He had it coming. He had it coming.
He
Sorry.
only had himself to blame.
He ran into her knife 10 times. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Sorry, not sorry. So Gabrielle tells her, it's essentially the same deal that Orestes did. And she's like, yeah, circumstances are the same. Mother killed his father, and so his obligation was to kill his mother.
Yeah.
And Cyrene tells her, I don't know if it worked or not. So then Gabrielle decides to go to Andreas to try and find him, to talk to him.
Right.
And then she tries to talk to Xena. And then there's another little bit of subtext here. This episode's really hard to pick subtext out of, because Xena's not necessarily in her right mind. But when they're talking, Xena does this little... People will, especially if, like, they're drunk, some people that are special needs, somebody that they trust completely and that they love, and, like, people with dementia, if they're with their spouses, they'll be actually overly affectionate with them. So Xena takes her head and, like, head bumps it into Gabrielle's really gently, and then Gabrielle just kind of grabs her tummy and gives her a little tummy rub. And they're like, come on, you can't say stuff's not happening there. Because, I wouldn't be cool with just one of my friends rubbing my belly. That's just weird. I heart you guys, but we'll keep the jigglypuff to myself. Anyway, so, a little bit of subtext there. And Gabrielle's trying to reason with Xena, and she's like, I know you're there. We'll get through this. And Gabrielle takes off. And then Xena finally speaks.
So Mama killed Papa.
Yep. And she's like, I should be grateful. But you gotta admit, you put me in a jam. I can kill you, or I can spend the rest of my life between babbling idiocy and vivid clarity. And then she says, like, one of my favorite quotes in the whole series. She's like, do you know that sanity is just a veil the gods throw over our eyes to stop us from seeing the truth? It's like, dude, I feel that on a daily basis. And then Xena's like, life's a joke. And the punchline's, no matter what we do, we end up food for the worms. And then she tells Cyrene there's only one way out of it, and pulls her sword. And then Xena has a moment of, when she's in a moment of clarity, then she goes back to batshit crazy, because Cyrene's like, go ahead, do it. She's like, then Xena goes back to babbling idiocy. You don't get out of it that easy. I leave you to entertain the gods. I am retiring from the stage. And then she leaves.
She leaves.
And then Cyrene tries to stop her, and it's, I'm a lunatic with lethal combat skills. So she takes off.
Then she's at a cliff, and in comes Ares.
She can feel when Ares is coming.
Yeah.
Anytime he's nearby,
Mm-hmm.
she feels it. Somebody on the subtext forum suggested that maybe that was because Ares was her soulmate. I'm just saying, it was a suggestion. But we all know she calls Gabrielle her soulmate. Like, literally says the word. Mm-hmm. Which I find a little cheesy in the context that it's used. Because they call each other that. I don't know. We'll get to, when it gets to those episodes.
Yeah.
I'll throw my 2 cents in.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's standing at the cliff. Contemplating.
Suicide.
Right. Ares is there to talk her out of it, and then what was it that he says that you could see something just clicked in Xena's head? Oh, what was it that
he says, it's the life isn't worth living speech that he says. It's where the part that clicked in her head was that sort of the meaning lies in what you can twist life into, because he emphasizes twist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for those who just endure life, yeah, it's a nasty joke, but for those who form it with their will, the joke is on those who get in the way. And she tells him it's beginning to make sense. And then Ares tells her, you don't know how common it is for a jealous man to try and punish his wife by hurting the child. And she's like, yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, he entices her to go and kill Cyrene.
Right.
And then Xena's like, well, how are the Furies going to know?
If she did it.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, they'll know.
She wants them there.
She says, I'm crazy, not stupid. If I'm going to whack Mama, I want to get something out of it. I want to know that they're watching.
Yeah.
And then Ares is like, oh, they'll see it. Like, I'm not going to do it unless it's in front of the Furies.
Right.
And Ares says, okay, I can arrange it. He's like, good, I'll get Mom.
Get Mom.
Just like they're going to the mall.
Yep.
I'll get Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then Xena is, when she gets back to the tavern, Cyrene is, relieved she's okay. But she's like, Cyrene's got her money on Gabrielle. Well, maybe she'll find an answer. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, Gabrielle can save a cat in a sack without me. Then she calls her a useless little pissant. Poor Gabrielle.
She did.
I actually think when I saw this episode the first time, because I very much so did not come down on the side of Gabrielle at all the first time I watched it through. I was like, yeah, you're right, Xena, handle it. But I don't feel that way now, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway. Cyrene defends Gabrielle, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not true. And Xena's like, well, I'm crazy and you're dead. Let's go.
And then Xena starts asking her about the night she was conceived, right?
Rolling around like a pair of crazed weasels. Was it good? And Cyrene's like, get it over with.
Mm-hmm. And then, she keeps
pushing her,
pressing her on it.
Yeah.
She wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Cyrene.
She tells her that Daddy-O was away at war.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, poof, there he is.
And yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And then Xena's just like, thank you. Now let's get this over with. And then back in, where was it that Gabrielle went? Andreas. She finds Orestes. And obviously we see that he's still
cuckoo.
Yeah.
Well, in the legend, he sought healing from Apollo. Mm-hmm. We never see Apollo and Xena, so.
We find out that he did avenge his father's murder, but then,
he killed his mother.
He killed his mother, so...
So it's a vicious cycle, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because now his mother's death's got to be avenged.
Right. And then the prison keeper guy or whatever, just says that it's all a lie. So if they persecuted him for not avenging his father's murder, what were they going to do to him for killing his mother? So there's no way out of it.
Yeah.
It's, like you said, it's just a continuous cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're at the temple.
Mm-hmm. And the altar.
Mm-hmm. We got Ares
And then he
Who-
calls out
he
for the Furies.
Calls the Furies. We got Cyrene on the, what do you call it? Altar?
Altar, yeah.
In comes Gabrielle.
To save the day!
To save the day, but Ares,
Mutes
shuts her
her.
up. And then Xena's just like, well, sometimes that's the only way to shut her up.
And then, she's like, oh, why am I doing this?
And she's got like sort of a aha moment, like, things start clicking in her head, I guess.
She's having one of those blinding clarity moments.
Right.
And this is when you can see, like, how scheming Xena can be. Because you don't see it that much. She's strategic, but never scheming. Then she's like, she killed my father. And Ares said, yeah, murdered him in cold blood. Like, how could she kill my father when my father's alive? Right, Daddy?
Very much alive. She looks at Ares and, yeah. And then he's all like, she's crazy.
It's like, yeah, I'm completely out of my gourd and I might cut Mommy up later just for the fun. But not because she killed my father.
Because you're my father.
Get that hunk of burning love you had, Mom.
So then, and then, this is where she has Gabrielle do her bard thing.
Gabrielle, tell him, do the bard thing.
Yeah.
Like, legend says that Ares takes the form of warriors and visits the wives while they're at battle.
And then she tells...
Cyrene takes cues very well.
She tells Mom to,
Tell
him what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the Furies what happened, and yeah.
She says he came home unsuspectedly from war.
Yep.
And then she makes the Furies admit that they eavesdrop.
Right. Oh, she's quite proud to say that they do. I like that. Would you say? Oh, yes, quite frequently.
Yes, frequently. And then Xena's like, well, then you heard the talk we had on the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that she makes comments about their outfits. Like, boy, you ladies dressed the part. You wonder why Ares used the word jealous, referring to my father.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they say, well, that was odd. Why jealous? And Ares is trying to explain the way out of it, And
Yeah.
he's like, well, it's a common phenomenon. And if you, like I was talking about with Orestes earlier, in the Electra complex, it is a common phenomenon. Because they get jealous over the relationships the mother has with the father. And like the Oedipus complex is reverse. It's them getting jealous of the relationship the father has with the mother. So, Xena explains her theory. It's like, they do their thing. Her real dad comes home from war. Thinks that got it done. There's Xena. And then one night says, the temple of Ares, maybe somebody was drunk and said what really happened.
Yeah.
Jealousy ensues. And then Cyrene kills him. And here we are. Ares is like, I'm not the father. And Electa says, well, why would you go through all this trouble to drive you... Why would he go through all this trouble to drive you insane? And Ares is like, huh? Like, because a mad Xena would be more sympathetic to his quaint worldview. And then Xena has already figured out, before Gabrielle even said anything, that if she killed her mom, she'd doom herself to insanity and dependence on Ares.
On Ares.
And
she says she can prove.
She has ways to prove it.
Prove it, yeah.
She's like, we fight, I'm half god, I can hold my own. If I'm not, the god of war will win. And then Ares is just like, oh my god, this is stupid.
But Electo's just like, well, what do you have to...
What
are you afraid of?
And Xena's like, me. So they fight. She holds her own.
Yep.
She actually knocks him onto Cyrene, yeah? Didn't she knock him down onto Cyrene?
Yeah.
And then she says, nope.
Not gonna... What was it? Not gonna do that again? What? I don't remember.
Come on, you two. You're not going to get it again, are you? And then she grabs Gabrielle and she's like, I'm going to use you as a shield, Gabrielle.
Just kidding. But she does beat Ares.
I win! One of the most popular gifts on Facebook among the Xenaverse, by the way. And Xena's like, well, I proved my point.
Yeah. And they agree. And then they lift the They reverse the
Not
madness.
before crazy Xena tells them that they've been getting rotten fruit from the priest.
Uh-huh.
And then they release it. And then Electo tells the priest, it's like, we'll talk later about the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Ares is like, you don't really think I'm your father, do you, after the Furies leave? And it's like, well, the Furies think you are. That's what counts.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get another little bit of subtext. Do you want to hit this one? This one's like the most glaring one in the entire episode.
Oh, yeah, because he points at Gabrielle and tells Xena, I still don't get what you see in her.
And then we got another little bit of subtext. You gonna continue on?
Which one is that?
It's where Gabrielle's breaking down. She's like, you knew exactly what I would say. I don't know if I like being that predictable, but it's the way Gabrielle says it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I like being that predictable. And Xena's like, I knew you were going to say that. And then Xena and Cyrene have a little heart-to-heart. And Cyrene, you see, feels guilty because she did take Xena's father away from her. And then Xena's like, I didn't really know him. Hardest thing was giving up hope. And it's like, I kept hoping I'd run into him, understand him, and understand her. Why do you think it was important for Xena to understand her dad to understand herself? Well, because her dad was a huge, dedicated servant to Ares.
Okay.
He fought.
Yeah.
And usually men that were dedicated to Ares like that were warlords. Or worked for a war. So that would have been where Xena would get her violent streak from. So I think she always held out the hope that she was going to be able to run into him somewhere. Mm-hmm. Just so that she could understand why she'd done some of the terrible things that she'd done in her past. And then she and Cyrene make nice again. Mm-hmm. Xena forgives her. The end. Xena's sanity was not harmed during the production of this motion picture. The Furies, however, will be opening their own lap dancing variety show off Broadway soon.
Off Broadway.
Off Broadway. Not
Okay.
on Broadway.
No.
So, Liliana, I am going to ask you one of the most complex questions that has been asked in the Xenaverse.
Okay.
Do you think Ares is Xena's father?
I don't think so. What?
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm. Zeus and Hera are brother and sister.
I know.
The gods are weird.
But that would be like father and daughter. That's just... No.
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 You know what? I am unsettled on what I think. Because... how do I put into words what I'm trying to put into words? I mean, it's not uncommon. Because, like, Eros and Deimos were Ares and Aphrodite's sons. So, like, the gods, I don't think anything about it.
Oh, I know.
Even from a relationship, like, I mean, it would gross me out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it odd that Cyrene, without having any discussion with Xena, was able to pinpoint, her dad wasn't there, and then all of a sudden he was. And then if you go off Legends of Ares, the way that Gabrielle told the story,
Yeah, it's like...
and the way that Xena fights, and the
Yeah.
fact that she has the strength of 10 men,
I mean, it leaves you wondering.
and that she's come back from the dead more than once,
Yeah.
and she's been the only person besides Hermes that's been able to go to the underworld and back that's alive. I mean,
It leaves you wondering.
and she is in favor with some of the gods.
Uh-huh.
Not all of them, especially towards the end.
No.
But, I mean, I don't know. It's a toss-up.
It is.
Because, I mean, there were a couple of saucy scenes between Xena and Ares.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, there was also this repulsion on Xena's side a lot of the time. So it's like, you have to wonder, did she maybe really think that somewhere in the back of her head? Otherwise, why was she so hard? Because, I mean, he wasn't hard to look at.
No.
I mean, why would she have been so... No.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what I think. What do you guys think? Tell us in the comments. We like it. We like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot. Yep.
That's a tough one. Because, yeah.
It's one of the most debated subjects in the Xenaverse.
Mm-hmm.
Is whether or not Ares is Xena's father. Rob Tappert knows. I bet you Steve Sears knows.
I was just thinking
So
that.
Steve, if you happen to listen to this episode, can you give us an answer? Do it. We'd like it. We would. Can tweet it, comment it on YouTube, what have you. Either way. Just, I want an answer.
We all do.
We all. Inquiring minds want to know. Tis the season. The show's been off the air for a few years.
A little bit.
Divulge the secrets.
Yes.
Of course, if we don't get a response, we'll hit you up at retreat.
All right. There you go. Yes. I was thinking that.
For you lovely people that are interested in going to Xenite Retreat,
Ooh.
there are like 30 tickets
30 tickets
left.
It
As
is
of
selling
tonight. We are recording this on October the 20th. So it's selling out quick. A lot quicker than it did last year.
Yeah.
So if you are thinking about going, get your ticket and go. Otherwise, when you make the decision, they may not have any tickets left, and then you will be all sad everywhere.
Yes, snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
There's a lot of newbies going this.
Lots of virgins this year.
Yeah, we're up to what, 30?
30 virgins, yeah. So, you guys, if you've never been before, you won't regret going.
No, you won't.
If you are freaked out because you have never really gone and done anything like that by yourself before and you don't have anybody to go with you, you are only by yourself until you get there.
Until you get there. There are a lot of people that go by themselves. And, yeah. You only make the trip there by yourself, but once you're there, it's like Carmela said, we're all just a family.
Carmela was like, she and Janine both were like,
Yeah.
you know, you guys just jump in wherever, we're all family.
Yeah.
You know, everybody will be welcoming, and everybody was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like I've said in the groups for retreat, Liliana is a very shy personality, which is different for me because I am not. I never have been. But Liliana doesn't talk with people very easily. It's not that she's snobby, because she's not. She's very far from snobby. But she's not one to put herself out there and go and just randomly talk to people. And retreat, it's like, I went to retreat with one wife, and I came out of retreat with an entirely different person that I didn't exactly know. It was like, where did you come from? I mean, it wasn't bad at all, but it's like, I'm telling you, the change that I just saw in her was freaking incredible. But there is no other atmosphere that I have ever been in, and I have been San Diego Comic-Con, I've been Dragon Con, I've been to Anacrocon. My entire life I've grown up in conventions and in the film atmosphere. There is absolutely no other atmosphere I have ever been in like they've got one at Retreat. There's just not. I mean, it's a very loving community.
It is.
And it's like me when I went last year, I'd had a time at work. Like, it was
This year.
rough. Yeah, this year.
It was actually this year, yeah.
Like, I was struggling at work, went to Retreat, and it was just like refreshing, totally rejuvenating. And when you leave home all pumped up because you're like, hey, you know what? There is still freaking good people in the world. You know? It's like, not every human being sucks. Because I'm just I like Skittles better than I like people. So, it's like, there's just, you can't really describe it. You know, I'm sitting here trying to put it into words, but like, for us, the second that the Xena shirts started coming through the door, you know, everybody was just like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm such and such, and it's good to meet you, and I mean, we got there and messaged on one of the deals. We're like, we're in the hotel. Where's everybody at? So it's like, oh, just come up to the room. We're watching Xena.
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
Just make yourself at home.
Robin Godfrey made us her signature Blitz Bard. So
Yeah.
we went up and watched Xena and drank a Blitz Bard, and yeah. I mean, there's just not anybody else quite like Xenites. And I don't feel anyway that there are many people out there like Penny Kavanaugh who put Retreat together. She and her wife Kat are lovely people. But she's just awesome.
She's amazing.
She is.
She is.
And her mom is too. I keep saying Sharon's a magical unicorn. But yeah, Penny is awesome and outstanding at what she does. And she really sincerely cares on making sure everybody at the retreat has an awesome time. I mean, there's not really cliques or anything like that at retreat. Everybody's just...
One big happy family.
Yeah, everybody's chill with and the family that you like. But everybody's just chill with each other. I mean, it's like, where else can you go where you don't have to worry about making sure all your stuff's locked away in a room? Because, like, we put our stuff in the cabin and just, like, left the door open. Because it's like you're with people that you don't have to worry about snatching anything.
It was fun. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Coming up.
So anyway, if you guys don't have tickets for Retreat are available, and tickets for Argo Express, which is your transportation to get to Retreat from the hotel, or you can choose to drive up there. Either way, we drove
like
last
we
year.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way we can leave late. We can sleep in and still make it to Retreat on time.
Yeah.
Drive the bourbon on up there. But yeah, so you guys get your tickets. Go, go, go. Adrienne Wilkinson also has a charity dinner the night before Retreat starts. I think tickets are $500
I believe that's
a piece. It goes to a really amazing cause. We'll give you guys more details when that becomes available to us. And until then, I think that's it. Anything you've got? Tonight was the last showing of On Clover Road, which was Renee O'Connor's play that she just did at Little Fish Theater.
That's what I was about to say. Which we went to the Talkback show last
Sunday.
Last Sunday. Yeah. Oh, it's been a week already, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun.
You enjoyed it?
I did. I like that theater because it's small.
You lying sack of shit. Liliana likes that theater because when she goes in, the house manager goes, "Do you need a blanket?"
Oh my god, that wasn't a house manager. That was
the director.
That was Holly, the director of On Clover Road. But no, I do like this theater because it's like it's small and quaint and it's
your kind of theater, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like one big huge theater where if you're like stuck in the back row, you need binoculars to see what's going on the stage.
They're called monocles, honey, not binoculars.
Okay, binoculars.
Monocles.
But that, I mean, like the actors.
Lorgnettes.
The actors are like right there, right in front of you. It's like boom, right in your face. But I mean, yeah. And we did get offered a blanket. I was like, whoa.
Like with Renee, there was a scene where she had a gun in her hand.
We're like, whoa.
And she's right in front of us. It's like, okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I prefer you with the staff. Go back. Go back. Have a better chance of outrunning that. But yeah.
Yeah, the last show was tonight. So
we will post a review for it. Mm-hmm. Now that it's closed out.
Yeah.
We'll give you guys our thoughts and opinions. But till then, I mean, anything else you got? Anything that you can think of?
Not that I can think of. No.
No conventions coming up that we're missing announcing.
In 2020 is the 25th anniversary of Xena, and they're gonna do a 25th anniversary
Xena
convention thing. I'm so excited. I want to go.
Okay. Whatever you want.
Okay.
We'll take you.
Okay.
So anyhow, there's that going on too. Anything else?
No.
No?
No.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
You sure?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Positive?
Pretty sure. Yes.
Alright.
Alright.
Till next time, guys. Happy chakrams. Be a force for good. Go out, help an old lady across the street. Carry somebody's groceries to their car. There's enough ugly in the world, starting in the American White House. Let's show people that there are still some classy ones out there. And until next time, happy chakrams, battle on Xenites, and babbling bards.
Out.
Ouch.